And good day, everybody. This is Ben Fadden, your host. This is not an official episode or a pregame show of the Talking Friars podcast or YouTube show, but I did want to make this kind of exclusive YouTube video to give my reaction on a couple of things that have happened recently in the Padres world, things that are Padres related. With the off day coming today, I still wanted to give you some content for today. And so, two things that I'm going to react to are the Padres demoting Luis Campusano and Pedro Avila to the minor leagues to make it 26 guys on their roster instead of 28. And then I also want to react to the Padres third baseman Manny Machado recently, just happened a couple minutes ago, being snubbed of the April Player of the Month. We'll start with Campusano and Avila. Avila, I'm not going to spend too much time on him, maybe 30 seconds right here. He was expected to be put down and demoted to AAA. He'd pitched twice since coming up in replacing Austin Adams, and those two times that he pitched, they were in blowout games. So it was not a surprise. Rosters get trimmed to 26. He's the first guy gone. All right, now we move on to Luis Campusano. Campusano is a little bit more interesting to me. I initially thought going into this roster trim that Campusano would not have been sent down until Luke Voit came back. And I've said this on pregame shows before. I thought that this was the time for the Padres to let Luis Campusano shine and let him get consistent at-bats at that designated hitter spot pretty much on an everyday basis. I understood if they're going to give Manny an off day, put him at DH, or Hosmer an off day, put him at DH. But other than that, have Luis Campusano be your DH. I know he's not great defensively catching, but you have Alfaro and you have Nola there to do that. It gave you the luxury of having a DH, Campusano DH, and then you still have a catcher on the bench. So if the starting catcher got hurt, you didn't have to put in the pitcher to hit for the rest of the game like the Cincinnati Reds had to do earlier this season. So that was another luxury. And for me, they only gave, I think it was surprising that they only gave Luis Campusano 12 at-bats in the big leagues before sending him down and being one of those two guys sent down. Yes, he did struggle. He had one hit in those 12 at-bats, hit .083. He did not have any home runs. His slugging percentage was .083. His OPS plus was negative 51. I get it. But that's a really small sample size to give Campusano when he's one of your top four prospects, right? I felt like they were going to give him some more opportunities, like they're giving Abrams more opportunities, right? They're giving Abrams these opportunities because Tatis got hurt, and they're going to let him shine or not shine, and they'll give him more time in the minors when he comes back. I felt like this was going to be the same scenario where they would give Campusano the opportunity to shine while Voit was on the IL, but they didn't really do that. Like, he played, I think, 3 games through his whole time here in the big leagues in this short stint. Now, Luke Voit was put on the IL retroactive to April 23rd. He was put on the IL on the 24th. So he would be available 10-day IL. I don't think it's 10 games. I think it's 10 days. So he would be available to come off the IL based on my calculations, my day calculations, by tomorrow, that starting opening game in the series against the Guardians. So that might be why they sent him down. And then they're going to send down another pitcher because, remember, they have to send down one more guy to make room for Mike Clevenger, who's starting Tuesday's game. So it's technically 3 guys that they're sending down, not 2, to make it so Clevenger gets on the roster and they have 26 players on the roster. So I think that it's definitely interesting that they sent Campusano down. But you also think about it, if Voit has to get activated tomorrow, if his 10 days are up and he's feeling good, they choose to activate him, that's another guy that they have to send down in place of Voit, right? So that's now 4 guys. It's not like they're sending Campy down because Voigt's being activated. He was sent down not for a Voit move, but for the roster trim. So for me, it wasn't just a easy swap, right? Like how Campy came up because they announced that Voit was going on the IL. But he's not going down because Voit is coming back onto the roster, if that makes sense. So when he's their top 4 prospect like that, I thought that they were going to give him some more chances. but they didn't. So that was a little surprising to me. But the good news here was, in terms of his development, this was the right move because it gets him down to the minor leagues to El Paso, where he gets consistent at bats every single day, and he can continue to develop. Now, what does this mean for his long-term future with the Padres? I'm not sure. They have Nola under contract for a few more years. They have Alfaro under contract as well. So it's not like these are one-year deals and Campusano will come up next year, right? He's 23 years old. So they're going to have to make some sort of a decision. I was talking about this with Jim Callis, I think a couple weeks ago on my show. And I asked him the question about if they're going to have to make a decision. And he was non-committal about them having to make a decision right now. But as time goes on, I feel like they will have to make a decision because he isn't getting any younger, right? The prime of your career, not making a ton of money, right? It feels like the most interest he's going to have is right now when he's young, right? Not making that type of money, big type of money, right? He's not even in arbitration yet. He hasn't played a full season in the big leagues yet. So I feel like that's where his big value is, and they could get back something that could help them more in the future. Now, this might be a trade that they do not this season because they have starting pitching and they have bullpen help coming back. But what about next year when you have Manaea being a free agent, who, let's say he doesn't come back, right? You have some other guys as free agents. They might not come back. Then do you make a move and trade Campusano to replenish whoever you lost at the end of this season? I think that's a real possibility. So that's my thoughts on the future of Campusano and him being sent down. Avila, okay, whatever. He was going to be sent down. It was just a depth piece. He was only a depth piece, excuse me. He was only pitching in blowout games, so that's not a surprise. He'll just be like a Reese Kinnear type piece, just a depth guy in AAA right now. Now, the next topic, this final topic I wanted to move on to. Just recently, 12:43 p.m. Pacific time, Jesse Rogers came out and tweeted the April award winners. They are out in the National League and the American League. You got Player of the Month. You got Pitcher of the Month, Rookie of the Month, Reliever of the Month. In the Pitcher of the Month, the American League, Logan Gilbert. National League, Pablo Lopez. Rookies, Stephen Kwan of the Guardians in the American League, Seiya Suzuki of the Cubs in the National League. Reliever of the Month, American League, Jordan Romano out of Toronto, and then Josh Hader, the Brewers reliever, won it on the National League side. The Player of the Month, the American League, Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. In the National League, Manny Machado, right? No, you would be wrong. Nolan Arenado wins it in the National League. I don't know about you, but I'm frankly tired of Nolan Arenado getting all of the love over Manny Machado. It's something, there is a bias there. There's no doubt about it. There has to be a bias there. Is it the 9 gold gloves like in a row Nolan's won? Is it just because he doesn't have that reputation of being a dirty player like Manny has? Why do people give Nolan the edge over Manny Machado in pretty much everything when the numbers, what you're supposed to be voting on, the Player of the Month, the April Player of the Month in the National League, you're supposed to be voting on the numbers in this month, in April, or last month, that just happened. And right now, guess what? Nolan was not better than Manny Machado in the month of April. He just wasn't. Wins above replacement, all right now. Now, I think this isn't for April, but we're May 2nd right now. The Padres played one more game. They played one game in May. So this is pretty much accurate, okay? Wins above replacement. In all of baseball, Manny Machado leads all of baseball in WAR right now, 2.2. Where's Nolan Arenado? He's 5th at 1.9. So Manny has him there. He obviously has him in WAR among position players. How about in offensive WAR in all of Major League Baseball? He's tied for first with Mike Trout, who's one of the best players to ever play this game. He's tied for first in offensive WAR there, 1.7. Where's Nolan Arenado? He's 5th in that category. How about defensive WAR? Everyone loves Nolan defensively, right? The 9 gold gloves, all of that. Where is Manny and Nolan defensively? Machado has a .6 defensive WAR so far this year. Again, Pretty much all of these games that happened were in April. And Manny didn't make that bare hand play yesterday, and that was in May. So it's not like he made this amazing play in May that they're talking about, okay? So 0.6 defensive WAR for Manny so far this season. Where's Nolan? He's not even in the top 10, according to Baseball Reference. Don't even see him. Now we go to batting average. Manny Machado is third in all of baseball. He's second in the National League, only to Eric Hosmer. Machado's hitting 375. Where's Nolan Arenado? He's hitting sixth in all of baseball in batting average with 368. So Manny is literally edging him in hits. I didn't mention that one either. Hits. He has 33 hits. How many does Nolan Arenado have? 28. I mean, we could keep going down the list. Machado leads Nolan in pretty much all of these categories. All of them. He has more singles than Nolan Arenado has. Times on base. Manny Machado is tied for first in all of baseball with 44 total bases. Nolan Arenado, not even in the top 10 according to Baseball Reference in times on base so far this season. There's just stolen base percentage Machado leads. I'm just trying to see all of these different categories here. Win probability added, Machado leads over at Arenado. Arenado's not in the top 10, according to Baseball Reference. This seems like a cool stat. I have no idea what it means. Championship WPA? Is that championship win probability? I don't know. But Machado leads all of baseball at 1.0. I don't know what that means, but that seems good. Arenado's not in the top 10. So there's so many categories that Manny is leading Nolan. And the biggest, the whole encompassing number, right, that Major League Baseball stat people, they like to use now is WAR, where it takes into defense, offense, all of that into account. Manny leads Major League Baseball, all of Major League Baseball, not just the National League, all of Major League Baseball in WAR so far this year at 2.2. All of baseball. And Arenado's fifth. So I think what I'm saying here is Manny deserves it over Nolan pretty easily. My takeaway is there's still that bias, and there's pretty much always going to be that bias against Manny for no reason. No viable reason. I'll say that. I know the reason, and it's the dirty player, all that stuff, that the narrative that's made for people that don't watch him on a daily basis. But how about looking at the stats, what you're supposed to be looking at for the month of April, and we're 2 days into May as I record this right now. One game that the Padres have played in May. So all of these stats pretty much happened in April. Manny had one hit in May so far this year, yesterday. So all of these stats are pretty much from April, and he leads Nolan in all of these categories that I mentioned. He leads in defensive WAR, total WAR, batting average. You could go on and on and on and on. Machado's played 23 games. Just trying to see what Nolan has played here. I don't know how many games the Cardinals, how many total games he could play, but he's played 20 games. So Machado's played in 3 more games than Nolan has. So I think he's played in every game so far this year, including DH, obviously. So he's being valuable to his team. Oh, and he's not storming the mound when he doesn't get hit, by the way. I'll put that in there too. I know that's not a stat, but I'll put that in there as well. So I'm a little heated, a little pissed off about that. Manny not winning the National League Player of the Month in favor of Nolan Arenado, who Manny is better than this year easily so far. And pretty much all the games have happened in April. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's not really an episode, just an exclusive YouTube video here. Campusano sent down my reaction to that. Manny snubbed of April Player of the Month. If he wins the National League MVP, I won't care about this because the MVP obviously matters more. But we're dealing in the now, and in the now, Manny deserved the National League Player of the Month, and he did not get it over someone that he has better stats than. So, all right, that's the video. thanks everyone for watching. I hope you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that notification bell for daily Padres content during the Padres season and throughout the entire year. I am Ben Fadden. Have a good one. See you later.